Well, alrighty then, PlayStation with the bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. A brand new aspect of this next generation console, PlayStation 5, has been revealed. We now know what the controller looks like. Here's a tweet from the official PlayStation Twitter page, and here's the image. And you can see that it definitely takes some new design choices, and it's really sleek looking. It's unexpected. And I don't know, I kind of like it. I know with any changes, there's always bound to be some discussion about whether it looks good or not, but I don't know, I'm kind of compelled by it. It's an interesting dual-tone design, but I do have one question.
So what do you think? Does it come in black?
The features of this controller are detailed in this official PlayStation blog post. No longer called the DualShock, they have introduced the DualSense, a new wireless game controller for PlayStation 5. So let's scroll down through here and check out the basic aspects of what this controller has to offer. It reads right here, we are starting to ship our new controller in its final design to developers who are implementing its unique features into their games. So until now, they've had what are essentially prototypes, but they're getting final versions now with all of the features, and there's a reason for why it's called DualSense, because the sense of touch is being emphasized with this controller. So you can read down here, based on our discussion with developers, we concluded that the sense of touch within gameplay, much like audio, hasn't been a big focus for many games. We had a great opportunity with the PS5 to innovate by offering game creators the ability to explore how they can heighten that feeling of immersion through our new controller. This is why we adopted haptic feedback, which adds a variety of powerful sensations you'll feel when you play, such as the slow grittiness of driving a car through mud. We also incorporated adapt drift triggers in the L2 and R2 buttons of DualSense, so you can truly feel the tension of your actions, like when drawing to bow to shoot an arrow. Dead or Alive Extreme? Here I come. So haptic feedback is not new technology. We have seen it implemented in VR controllers, and the Switch on some level has it, but the vibrations in that controller are so kind of soft and low-key that it's not the best haptic feedback. We'll see how it is implemented in the PS5 controller, but on the Vive, for example, which I have, when I'm drawing a bow, you really get a sense of like pulling that string or that rope on the bow, and it's really cool, and it's great to see them kind of implement that in PS5. And it really helps in like giving the game a sense of like texture. It works really well if properly implemented. So, this is kind of exciting, and we'll see how it's done with this hardware. And then beyond that, they talked about adaptive triggers and how they had to consider how components would fit into the hardware without giving it a bulky feeling. Our design team worked closely with our hardware engineers to place the triggers and actuators. The designers were then able to draw the lines of how the exterior of the controller would look and feel, with a challenge of making the controller feel smaller than it really looks. In the end, we changed the angle of the hand triggers and also made some subtle updates to the grip. We also took thoughtful consideration into ways to maintain a strong battery life for DualSense's rechargeable battery and to lessen the weight of the controller as much as possible as new features were added. So I, for one, prefer rechargeable batteries in controllers. Xbox Series X's controllers still have, you still have to put in AA batteries in them. This just has that rechargeable battery, much like the DualShock 4. So I think that's good news, and hopefully it'll last a decent amount. The PS4 controller, one complaint is that the battery life can be pretty short, so hopefully with this wireless controller, they're going to take that to the next level. And then they continue to talk about the share button and how that's no longer there and has instead been replaced with, quote, "We've built upon the success of our industry-first share button to bring you a new create button feature. With create, we're once again pioneering new ways place for players to create epic gameplay content to share with the world or just to enjoy for themselves. We'll have more details on this feature as we get closer to launch. I get the sense that PS5, with the power that it has, it will come with some kind of video editor that offers extensive features. Beyond that, the controller comes with a built-in microphone array, which will enable players to easily chat with friends without a headset, though they say that ideally you do want a headset if you plan to chat for a long period of time. We'll see how good this microphone array is. I get the sense it's not going to be the best quality, but it's there for those who need it, in a pinch. Here are two more screenshots of the DualShock 4. In this one, we can actually see there is a USB-C connection port right here, which is an inevitable upgrade. So that's nice. And here's another angle. For the controller, you can see what the triggers look like, you can see what the shoulder buttons look like, and from here you can also get a clearer look at the translucency of these buttons, the D-pad and the face buttons, which definitely have that PlayStation Vita vibe, which I actually kind of like. And then going back to the blog post, they talk about colors, saying that traditionally our base controllers have a single color. As you can see, we went a different direction this time around and decided on a two-tone design. Additionally, we changed the position of the light bar that will give it an extra pop. On DualShock 4, it sat on the top of the controller, and now it sits at each side of the touchpad, giving it a slightly larger look and feel. If we click on this image, you can see that in action. Here's the touchpad, and it's got this like angled kind of thing going on here, and then the light bar is situated on the sides. Now, this two-tone color scheme for the controller might give us an idea for what we can expect for the console proper. It could very well be that the box itself will also have this kind of sleek aesthetic with a blend of white and black, or it might lean more towards white, perhaps. Now, you can already see on Twitter that plenty of people are hoping that we'll see a black design, which actually looks really damn cool and subtler. I would like to see this myself. The black definitely suits this design very well as well. So we'll see, and no doubt there's going to be a bunch of color varieties down the line. We'll probably see the black maintained, but the white right here change into, blues and reds and whatever colors they can come up with, or the two-tone design, they'll really play around with mixing and matching different colors probably. I think it opens up some interesting possibilities on that front in terms of aesthetics and design. So, I don't know, overall, I do like the look of it. I don't know, I like that they're going in this different direction. It's certainly not boring. It'll certainly raise some eyebrows. And then to close things off, they talk about how they went through hundreds of mock-ups over the last few years before they settled on this final design, and how they tested this controller with a wide range of gamers with different hand sizes, so they really tried to make this controller as comfortable as possible. And I really enjoyed the DualShock 4, the way it felt in my hands. This seems to be just an iteration and extrapolation of that. No doubt there's going to be refinements in the design and in the ergonomics of it, and yeah, it looks pretty good, it looks pretty comfortable, and it feels familiar while also adding some new aesthetic elements and features like the that DualSense, the sense of touch, the haptic feedback, which I'm curious to see how that feels and how well that's implemented, and whether it holds a candle to what VR is doing with their controllers, with Vive, for example, offering really great haptic feedback in my experience. Last but not least, here's a quote from SIE President and CEO Jim Ryan, who said, "DualSense marks a radical departure from our previous controller offerings and captures just how strongly we feel about making a generational leap with PS5. The new controller, along with the many innovative features in PS5, will be transformative for games, continuing our mission at PlayStation to push the boundaries of play, now and the future." To the PlayStation community, I truly want to thank you for sharing this exciting journey with us as we lead towards PS5's launch in holiday 2020, so that they're not changing that release window based on what's currently going on with the current pandemic. We look forward to sharing more information about PS5, including the console design, in the coming months. So yeah, as we just inch closer and closer to holiday 2020, we're starting to see a lot of details surrounding both Xbox Series X and PS5. I'm very curious to see what PS5 itself actually looks like. But more importantly, I want to see the games. I want to see what the launch lineup is like. I want to see what kind of titles they're working on for the future of PS5, and I want to see just what kinds of cool experiences and innovative gameplay designs can be put forth as a result of this solid-state drive that a lot of developers have been really gushing about with how fast it is and all of the new gameplay design paradigms this all allows. So yeah, just all around, I think these are exciting times, and now with this PS5 controller reveal, the DualSense, yeah, this is gonna definitely attract some PR to the upcoming console, and I'm curious to hear from you guys what your thoughts and opinions are on this dual-tone design and the new features and adjustments that they made to the DualShock 4. Let me know in the comments below what your take is, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.